And welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that. Oh, those lovely duct tapes. I apologize for cutting that second duct tape short. Fun fact, that was our first one ever made. It's it is a classic. And speaking of, we have our first semifinals match ready before you, ready to sink our teeth into and spawning. In the bottom right hand corner of Neo Humanity, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Gaming. It is Dark. And this morning, in the top left hand corner of Neo Humanity, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Protoss player, currently teamless. It is Classic. Here we go. The ZvP is finally before us. These players have been eluding us all night, all day, all afternoon, but finally they are here. And oof, we almost had a delay on that forward base. We do have a hatch first from Dark. Very important to take note of, because Dark quite often does go for a pull first on Neo Humanity, but this time, no, it is going to be hatch first. It is going to be that forward base. From here, we can see some aggression, and I'm sure Classic is fully aware of that as well. That'll be in the back of his mind as he's going for a... Oh my god, he's going for a cannon rush. He's going for a gate forge. Let's go. So, for those who don't know, a gate forge opener, it is a gateway first and a forge. This is a macro opener. What I mean by that is that this is designed to cancel a hatchery. That's it. It's not designed to end the game. It's not designed to, you know, like proxy a robo and like try to bust into the main and contain the opponent. No. It's just designed to cancel a hatchery, and you can get ahead economically from here. As there we go. We have a nexus behind this. So the terminology, like the way to describe this is a quote-unquote macro cannon rush. And here we go. The cannons are thrown down. Dark is unaware. He is none the wiser. Ideally this cancels. Best case scenario, we get a kill in the hatchery, and there we go. The hatchery does complete. The cannons have been revealed. The Zelda's about to rock up, and Dark has to react with a Roach Warren. He's going to be going all in himself. Second gas guy is going to be taking it. It looks like Dark has recognized that he will most likely lose this hatchery, and it will go down, and he's going to be transitioning into a one base all in. We have a gas geyser on the way to facilitate for Roach and Ravager production, and then we can flood links behind that. Here we go. See the chat. LFJ looking for all the groups, Bobby. Let's go. As the hatchery is now at half HP already, links have been scattered. What's important is that Classic needs to scout this. He needs to slip into the main base. He needs to realize what's going on. We do have a couple links already across the map, and ooh, the wall was not a wall. Damage is already being done. Classic caught with his pants down, forced to pull some boys here just to make sure that the wall does stay up and running. We need a cannon behind this. Where's the cannon, Papi? The hatchery does go down. But we need something here to defend. The Cybercore is going to go down even without the roaches. This is getting out of hand. Classic didn't think that far ahead. We do see him going for the probe scout. He does confirm the roach all in. But this is already too much damage with the death of the Cybercore. Still no cannons, by the way. With the death of the Cybercore with no cannons, we only have a single adept to defend. And I don't think this is going to be enough. The Queen has made its way across the map. The roaches are flooding across the map as well. We have the Ravagers on the way. And we literally only have one adept to defend. We're about to have a cannon. We're about to have two cannons and a robo. But this Ravager is focusing that cannon down. And the cannon will fall immediately. We have the second cannon being focused on the Adept as well. And even though it was a good start for a Classic, GG gets called. Dark will take game number one. Oh my god. GG. Ay. Dark, he was so quick to react, so quick to be like, okay, I'm gonna lose the hatchery, that's fine. I'll throw down a gas, I'll throw down a roach war, we're gonna go all in. Even before that, the initial lings were getting out of hand. It was 6 lings across the map. Got a kill on the Cybercore, slipped behind the wall as well. Classic was just not ready for the ling counterattack, and things got very chaotic very quickly. Oh. GG. Oh boy, I loved the opener from Classic, but just was woefully unprepared for the follow-up. GG, well played. And now We're very quickly getting into game 2. we've had some fast series today. Some very fast games. It's all ending before it begins. My god. Okay, I want some more StarCraft. Also, I apologize. Dark is a Zerg player. There we go. Out of game overlay was just showing the wrong race. All good, all good. So we're getting into game número 2. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Z Gaming. It is Dark. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player currently down in this series already after a very quick game 1. It is Classic. And we have seen Classic thrive in the mid game. We've seen him punish and devour players like Raynor, players like even Dark at times. But this week, Classic stumbled a little bit at the gate, and that's a scary thing because this is a best of 3. We don't have that many more games ahead of us. Oh boy. Classic is up against the ropes right now, and one more slip up, one more loss, and he is out of today's tournament. Meanwhile, Dark, one more win, and he moves on to the grand finals. He moves on to the best of 5 against either Hero, Classic, or DRG. Oh boy. Here we go. As Dark is going to be going for a hatch gas pool opener. Everything's looking quite standard from Dark. Forced to take the unnatural base, nothing too crazy. Meanwhile, Classic is going for a regular opener as well, is going for a gate expand. We do see on some maps a gate cybercore expand, but this one is going to be a little bit more greedy just because of how large this map is. It's on Ancient Cistern. Classic, he can afford to cut some corners. Does delay the cybercore for the faster nexus, and we can get into this game. Nothing too out of the norm here. We had a really surprising and a really intense and short game 1, but game 2, we should be able to get it, you know, a little bit more out of it. I would hope so anyway, I would hope so. As this probe is just being as annoying as possible, chipping away at those drones. Back across the map, we do see Dark just trying to get an eye on things, just getting an eye on the first unit coming out, on whether the warp gate is delayed. And we can see the warp gate has been delayed, has not begun, because it is a Stargate opener. And Dark should be fully aware of that. He's well aware of the timings. Does know. And from here, Dark can deduce that he should be getting ready for oracles. I mean, we already have queens coming out. Should be getting 2 queens for each base. And Dark is usually the kind of player to skip out on spores whenever he can. Boy, here we go. And the scary thing about Classic is, depending on what he does scout and depending on how much damage he does, he can go from here into a Blink Stalker opener. He can go into Glaive Adepts. I don't think this is the best map for Glaive Adepts, to be fair. Ancient Cistern is quite large, and because of that, it can be a little bit more difficult to keep the glaives hidden from your opponent. Well, I do expect to see a Blink Stalker follow up from Classic, but we'll see. We'll see. Crazier things have happened. First Oracle is coming out. And we have that third base being taken for Classic as well. So again, pretty economic, pretty macro-oriented opener so far by Classic. Oracle is just going to be going across the map just to try and find some damage. What do we have at home to defend? We have 2 queens at third base. We have 1 queen in the main, but we have a sport to make up for the lack of queen. Ooh, and we looks like we're going to be able to catch some of these transferring workers. 1 drone will go down. We are looking for a little bit more damage though, but we do have a spore on the way in the third base. At the same time, a bit of a link counterattack, but no, the Oracle is here to defend. This third base will get up and running. Even though Dark is setting another wave of links across the map. Oh, he is really looking for some damage. He wants to either get a kill on the Adepts or even get a cancel on that Nexus, but no. The Oracle stayed at home, the Lings are forced back. I'm going to try and rotate around here towards the natural base. The Oracle sustaining a little bit of hull damage. But 3 Adepts, I think that's just a little bit too much DPS. We do have the Oracles once again dipping in, getting 1 drone kill. And Dark, it looks like he was making sure that the Adepts were on hold position. He dips in, dips out, gets a probe. Gets 2 probes, gets 3 probes. It's pretty good. Pretty good stuff. As we do have a Forge and a Twilight Council behind this, so this is not going to be Glaive Adepts. This should be for +1 Blink Stalkers. We even have a bit of a Gateway Explosion as well, so this is not going to be the more tech-heavy variation where we go for faster Colossi. This is... oh my god, never mind! Okay, I love this. So, +1 was revealed. The Forge was revealed to Dark. He's aware of the upgrade. Oh, and we have a Hydra Den on the way. Dark, this is a reaction to +1 Blink Stalkers. We saw this against Miyamika if you were here earlier, how easily Glaive Adepts can deal with Ling Hydra. And Dark is falling for it. Uh-oh. Classic being very cheeky. How many gateways do we have in total? We've got 4 in the main. We got 2 more here at the natural. 6 gate. Glaive Adepts is going to be rushing across the map. And we're not going to have Roaches to defend. We're not going to have Banelings to defend either. We're going to have Ling Hydra. Not ideal. And again, this is just such a smart way to hide this because +1 is typically not researched with this build. Oh boy. Here we go. The Adepts are going to be rushing across the map. What do we have at home to defend? That is the question. Oh, this Oracle flies too close to the sun. 1 Oracle will go down. 2 Oracles even. Oh, not the best start here for Classic. This has still gone unscattered. Dark is supply blocked. And this is what we have to defend. We have 4 Hydras and 25 Lings. Oh, boy. Now, on paper, Dark should die, but it's Dark we're talking about. We'll see if he can find a way to survive and minimize his losses as the Adepts are threatening a Shade. It looks like they will commit to the Shade. They do get into the natural base. The Lings go down. The Hydras are going down as well. Everything will go down. We saw this with Hero versus Miyamika. We're seeing this here once again. Hydras are not what you want against this army. We shade in towards the 3rd base and towards the main. Hydras, as they pop, they crumble. Dark just completely bamboozled by this. And again, Classic, he wants to shade on top of the army. He wants to kill this. GG gets called, and Classic takes game number 2. Oh, that was wild. Oh my god. Again, okay, so when you're scouting as a Zerg player, one of the big things that you're looking for is the Forge, right? If you see a Forge, it's not Glaives. That's the rule. The rule is Forge equals no Glaives. That is how you distinguish between them. So Dark saw the Forge, and we saw +1. And for those wondering, +1 doesn't help Adepts. Adepts, because they do so much damage to light units anyway, the +1 isn't worth it. Like, it doesn't... That's why you don't get +1 for Glaive Adept builds, because of how much bonus damage they do to light units, like Lings and Hydras and whatnot. But Classic gets it anyway to be inefficient, to hide his build. And yeah, Dark just got completely tricked by it. Oh my god. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. GG. Wow. That's... oh, don't show this to the ladder, Papi. Don't show it. Ah. As we're getting into game number 3 and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Babylon, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Z Gaming. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Babylon, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss. Teamless, but tying up the series 1-1. It is Classic. Just game 2, mate. Oh my god, that was dirty from Classic, completely catching Dark off guard. To be fair, again, Dark was also being a little bit cheeky himself, because going for Ling Hydra is a very strong and a very extreme reaction to +1 Blink Stalkers. It's not normal. Like, normally to deal with +1 Blink Stalkers, you go Ling Roach Ravager, or you go Ling Bane Roach, right? Those are the more standard compositions, and both of those can do quite well against Adepts as well. Like, they can keep you alive, they can survive. Going Ling Hydra is one of the more extreme cases where it hard counters +1 Blink Stalkers. Like, it's a very strong composition against Blink Stalkers, a very extreme composition. But as we see, it has its weaknesses, and specifically against things like Laves or things like Colossi as well. And yeah, Classic just played Dark like a book, or played like a book. What? Read him like a book, played him like a fiddle. Oh, aye. It was crazy. It was crazy. Wow. Made him dance to his music. However you want to say it. Oh god. Yeah. We'll see if this catches on. I hope not. As a player trying to survive on the ladder, I hope this doesn't catch on. But a very cheeky build from Classic in game 2, and I can definitely appreciate it. I can admire it. So we're getting into our next game. I see the chat. No, that's how you do it. Yeah, you played him like a book, read him like a fiddle. Yeah, danced him like a story. Oh god. As we're getting into this, Hatch Gas Pool from Dark, standard opener, likewise Classic going for a Stargate opener as well. Everything's looking normal, but it's all about the follow-up. You know, it's about, does Classic get a Forge? Even if he does get a Forge, he's gonna get Glaives anyway. Unlikely for Classic to do it 2 games in a row. Very unlikely, but we'll see. We shall see. What I will say is that even if he scouts a Forge and a Twilight Council, he probably will not go Ling Hydra. I can say that much at least. Never again, Papi. Never again. What's good for the goose is don't catch your chickens before they hatch. There you go. Oh god. Chat's getting rowdy. It's getting out of hand. Aye. What's another one? Oh god. As it looks like the first Adept is going to get caught out in the middle of the map, so not a bad catch here from Dark. It's able to help clean that up. We do have our Oracle opener. First Oracle is just going to be staying back at home here for the time being, and this makes a lot of sense because the first Adept died. That does mean that we have less to actually protect this Nexus, so the first Oracle will have to stay at home a little bit longer. Meanwhile, Dark wants to turn the tables. That is a very fast lair. This is looking like a Nidus build, but we do have a second and a third gas being taken, so this is screaming Roaches. This could be a Roach Nidus all-in or a Roach speed timing. There we go, as the Roach Warren is thrown down. Regardless, Dark is looking to be hyper-aggressive. So we'll see if it's just Roaches for the Roach Warren for Roach speed, or if a Nidus is going to be thrown down as well. Meanwhile, the Oracles, they've got a lot of work to do. They have to scout this, they have to figure out what's going on. Even seeing the lair timing is going to be good enough, as a couple of drones get picked off here at the natural base. A third, a fourth, a fifth drone go down. 6th drone even, there is no WCS game heart, and we get a full scout. We see the lair, we see the Roach Warren, we see everything. Even the gases at the third. So Classic is now aware that he has to be a little bit more defensive. There is Roach speed immediately being researched. So no Nidus, just Roach speed. Regardless, again, this is going to be a very big commitment into Roaches really early on. And Classic already throws down a shield battery here at his third. Classic is getting ready. There's a second shield battery and a third shield. 3 shield batteries thrown down. But I love this from Dark because he knows he got scouted. It's very Miyamaka-esque. He knows that the Lair got scattered. He knows that the Roach Warren got scattered. He knows that Roach Speed was scattered as well. So we throw down a Spire. Just completely switch gears, making use of the fast Lair in a different way. As every single gas geyser is being taken, we are going to be banking up gas for Mass Muta. And Dark, oh my, Classic goes for the follow-up scout. This is pretty important. He sees 2 more gases. If we look at his vision, he has seen all 6 gases and a lair. This is very sus. Obviously, he knows about the faster Roach Warren, but you don't get 6 gases when you're going for a fast, when you're rushing Roaches like this. So this is a tell. This could be for a fast Spire, or it could be for a fast Hydra Den, or even an Infestation Pit. We can see Classic is feeling confident to move out. He is forcing units out of Dark, forcing roaches as well. I love this. Again, Dark wants to preserve his gas for the mutas, but because Classic is posturing, Dark has to make some roaches. So that will be eating into his muta count. There we go. We have 5 mutas on the way. Oracles are diving in towards the main base as well, in between the bases, and it looks like they they will come across the spire. We have the revelation as well, just so Dark knows, that Classic knows that he's been spotted. The power move. 10 mutas are on the way. Classic is preparing back at home. We have Stalkers, we have Blink, we have Phoenixes in production, and even a shield battery in the main base. So great scouting here by Classic, great reactions as well. Really good mind games all around, like Dark switching gears and transitioning his tech, and Classic making sure he goes for the rescout to figure out what's going on. Mutas have arrived, but Blink Stalkers are in position. As Stalkers are in their natural, Stalkers are in at the 3rd base as well. Blink is not done yet, so a couple of probes are going to be going down. Oh, ooh, almost the Oracle as well. And from here, Classic has to be very careful with these Phoenixes. 1 muta will get picked off. We are switching tech once again, so we committed to 10 mutas and only 10 mutas. This is going to be basically a worker kill squad. They're designed to kill probes. And we are going into a Hydra Den. So once again, Dark switching up his tech. Once again, he's trying to keep his opponent guessing. Now, this is all well and good. The problem with what Dark is doing is that he's investing so much in different forms of tech, like his roaches, and then his mutas, and then his hydras. It means that his main army is quite weak. It means that right now his main army is very vulnerable, and it's going to take a while for him to really get into the swing of things. And there's going to be a window where Classic can abuse that. And I do worry. Basically, the job of these mutas is to keep the army of Classic back at home, but we're losing more and more mutas every single time. And this muta cloud is evaporating. It's going to go down. There is nothing keeping Classic at home. Oof. As only a single muta survives. And now Classic is going to be sending everything across the map. He has the Prism. He has the Stalkers. Dark is in the middle of transitioning into Hydras. But these are vanilla Hydras. They don't even have range. They don't even have speed. They don't even have +1. We invested so much gas into those mutas, and it just didn't pay off. Oof. Now, Dark can still hold with sheer numbers. With his macro, he can still hold, but it's going to be a tough hold. As we're throwing down a second Robo and a Robotics Bay behind this, we're transitioning into Disruptors or Colossi. Here we go. The Hydra count is quite large. The Queens are coming into play as well. Without splash damage, Dark's army isn't too bad, as range just finishes up. Oh, but this hatchery is going to fall. We do see Dark try to go for a surround. Classic may be overextending a little bit, as we do see Dark pushing on forward, but it looks like the Stasis Trap goes off on nothing. Oh my god. We do have a weapon. A lot of the roaches are going down, but the Hydras are putting in a lot of work. And it looks like Dark will survive. He does push this back. Again, Classic was trading pretty efficiently overall, but he has lost too many Stalkers. Oof. And Dark even saved the hatchery. I'm surprised. That's the biggest thing. The hatchery does survive. Classic threw away a lot of Stalkers in that attack. But we're not done. We have Disruptors. Now the question becomes, should we have waited for the Disruptors? That's a valid question. But I do think that it was wise of Classic to push out then and there. I do think that the timing was good for Classic. I do think that he was able to kill a lot of roaches and even Hydras. And even here, he's just trading as best he can. Just trying to make sure his blinks are on point, but ooh, he loses another one of these Stalkers. Again, Classic just trying to keep as much pressure on Dark as possible. We've got another warping of Stalkers. The Disruptors are banking up back at home, and there we go. 4 Disruptors are on the way. And Classic has to be careful not to lose too much before they show up. Ooh, as the Phoenix is going to go down for free. Do you have an aggressive blink here on top of some of these Hydras? But once again, we're bleeding out too many Stalkers. This Classic is expanding behind this, has his Disruptors, but alas, Dark has survived. Now, what I'm worried about is that Dark didn't throw down a Lurker Den. He's surviving on Roach Hydra, which is okay, but it's only okay. Like, lurkers would really solidify his position. Without lurkers, these disruptors are going to be terrifying. Here we go. We do see Classic just baiting Dark off of creep, forcing him to overextend, forcing him to push far out. Thankfully, Dark does pull back. Thankfully, he didn't commit to the counterattack. Otherwise, he would have run into 6 disruptors. Again, Classic just wants to drag his opponent off of creep, wants to fight on his terms. And here we go. The disruptors are now hitting the field. We're pushing on forward. The disruptors have been revealed. Infestation Pit is on the way. Lurker Den is on the way as well. We're trying to set up a surround. Nova goes off. Does connect with 3 of those Hydras. Classic doesn't go in yet. Wise choice. Like, it's very dangerous pushing on the left-hand side just because you'll be surrounded from the right. So he has to push through the middle instead. We'll have the high ground. He'll have this tower to knock down as well. Dark trying to set up another surround, though. He's coming in from behind. Oh, but only a handful of those Lings. We blink on forward to protect them. The rocks do get knocked down. And Dark doing a great job positionally. The Lurker Den is now done. Hive is on the way for those Vipers. But we don't have any Lurkers yet. Without Lurkers, oh god, this is going to be brutal. Novas go off left and right, connecting with the Hydras. Ooh, some juicy connections. A couple of these disruptors are being taken out, but we have 3 disruptors left, and it looks like Dark may have just taken too many losses. Hydras are putting in a lot of work, to be fair. +2 kicking in. We only have 2 Novas left. God, the Hydras doing whatever they can. Another Nova will connect. Only getting a handful of those Hydras. Not too bad. Honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to Colossus production right now. I wouldn't be opposed to that. But we're committed to the disruptors. The first Lurker is being produced. Let's go. Second Lurker on the way behind this army. But it may be too little too late. Even 2 Lurkers won't be able to stop this. We'll see. The army pushes on forward. The Lurkers have arrived. Ooh. Once again, massive chunks of Hydras going down. Dark trying to set up a surround, but we have too many Stalkers. The Hydra trying to focus on whatever disruptors they can. Oh, they do get the Prism. Very nice pick off. And Dark is pulling this off. I mean, initially we had 2 Lurkers. Now we've got a 3rd Lurker on the way. The higher the Lurker count, the more likely it is for Dark to deflect this. Classic doesn't want to stop. Oh no! Decent splits towards the end. God, but we have so many Purification Novas. I do think that Classic should be transitioning though, I'll be honest. I think Classic, he's trying to brute force his way through, and I understand. Like, he's on the cusp. Like, look at the supplies. He is about to break Dark. The only thing keeping Dark alive is these Lurkers. Oh, and there we go. The Novas connect. 2 Lurkers go down. Oh my god. Dark trying to expand and take another base. He's barely holding on. And with the death of another Lurker, it looks like even without Sky Toss, just Blink Stalkers and Disruptors, Classic is able to chip away at Dark's army, and he realizes that Dark is giving up on this base. He's going for a counterattack. He's going all in. Or he's going for the base trade in a way. Oh god, but the Novas are too good. We have plenty of detection. Another Lurker goes down. Dark is trying to catch some reinforcements across the map. And it looks like he should be able to get a decent amount of workers at least. Oh, get some disruptors. 2 disruptors go down for free. And Dark is causing a lot of havoc, but at any moment we can recall. As the 3rd base is going to be going down, the 4th base is under threat as well. Meanwhile, Classic is pushing into the main. Where are the Lurkers? Lurkers are being morphed at the 3rd base location. It looks like Classic is going to be giving up his 3rd base and his 4th, but Dark is losing his natural and soon his main. And the thing is that Dark, he just can't engage with the main army. He can never fight Classic head-to-head. Even if he kills the detection. He's not going to kill the detection. We're going to be rotating over towards the 4th base. Meanwhile, Dark trying to go for another counterattack. He should be able to bust into the natural, to be fair. Uh-oh. Up! Oh, no! Ooh. Massive Nova goes off. Overcharge is popped as well. Classic is going to be able to hold. GG gets called, and Classic takes the series 2-1. GG, well played. Dark fighting hard there in that game. I appreciate all the tech switches, but GG, we can clearly see here as we can clearly see that going for all these tech switches can be good to catch your opponent off guard, but alas, it wasn't enough to really keep to keep Classic at home. We saw that the mutas eventually got cleaned up, and as soon as the mutas got cleaned up, we can go across the map, and that was when Dark was at his most vulnerable. He didn't really have too many upgrades, he didn't have any lurkers, he was just trying to get into Hydra Tech at that time. Very vulnerable there. The window was open for Classic, and he was able to just barely squeeze through. And with that, GG, well played. Well played to Classic as he moves on to the grand finals. Oh, pretty wild series again. Game 2. Game 2 was crazy, Poppy. It was crazy. Game 2 was wild. Going for the Forge and going for the +1 despite having a glaive that followed. 6 gate glaives, by the way. 6 gate glaives. Dark having a hard time in game 2. Game number 3 as well, we saw it was a little bit of a different story. Dark, if you remember, was trying to take the initiative. Dark was the one that went for a fast lair. He was the one that was trying to go for a roach hole in, and then transitioned into Spire, and then transitioned into Hydra. So Dark was trying to be the aggressor in game 3 and trying to dictate the pace of the game, but Classic was doing a great job at scouting. At every single turn, Classic saw everything that Dark was doing. Was able to react very well as well. GG, well played. And with that, we have our first finalist. With that, we have our very first player in the grand finals. Classic moves on over Dark, and he's going to be waiting for the winner of Hero versus Dongregyu. Meanwhile, shout out to Dongregyu, because I was not a believer. Gumiho fell here to DRG, the Terran Hope himself. This week, there was no Bjorn, there was no Maru, there was no Cure. But there was Gumiho. Gumiho was the player to wave that Terran flag. Alas, he meets his end at the hands of Dongregyu, and now Hero is currently facing DRG in the upper semifinals.